Open up! Open up the gates!
Identify yourself!
My name is Sir John. I bring me Lord Duke a belated wedding gift. A very large and ill-tempered one.
Come visit someday. You would be most welcome at King Arthur's table.
Perhaps, my friend. But for now, I'll be content to sit at my own. I've been away from it for far too long. Goodbye, then.
Good luck, Sir John.
And you, sir. What is your name, anyway?
Valiant. Just call me Valiant.
Not Prince Valiant? Knight of the King's Round Table?
No, Sergeant. Valiant. The goat herder.
Top cartoons tomorrow morning just after 9 o'clock, The Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and tomorrow afternoon at 10 past for Galaxy Goof Ups. Just 2 cartoons you can see tomorrow on Children's BBC. Also tomorrow, Jonathan Morris is back to challenge your showbiz know-how in The Movie Game. Will Peter Pan get the better of the evil Captain Hook? Will the splat guns get him first? And what's Quasimodo got to do with all this? The Movie Game tomorrow at 4:35 on Children's BBC. And don't forget, you can see The Movie Game also at 9:45 on Sunday mornings on Children's BBC on BBC2. Find out what happens down the disco in the Lowdown after Newsround.
Africa's flying doctors get help from a cameraman whose life they saved. And changes at EuroDisney as it celebrates its first anniversary. Hello. Flying doctors in Africa have been given thousands of pounds to help Africa's poor as thanks for saving the life of a famous TV cameraman. The charity AMREF run a flying doctor service airlifting injured people to safety from remote spots all over East Africa. During a war 2 years ago, they flew into Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, to rescue Mo Amin, who was filming with the BBC's Michael Burke. The service is based in neighbouring Kenya, and it's from there that Michael Burke now reports.
It was a short journey to a bush airstrip in the Rift Valley and a chance to say thank you. A short journey, but Mo Amin had come a long way since he was last in this plane, badly injured, close to death. We'd been in Ethiopia reporting on the fall of the capital Addis Ababa to the rebels after Africa's longest civil war. We were woken one morning by a series of terrific explosions on the outskirts of the city. Someone, nobody knows who, had set fire to a huge arms dump. We went to film it, but got caught when the whole dump blew up like an atomic bomb. Our soundman, John Matai, was killed instantly as we were all blown through the air in a tangle of metal and rock. Mo Amin was injured in both arms. He might have died if the flying doctor service AMREF hadn't been brave enough to fly into a city at war to rescue us.
Mr. Susan, yes. Hi. How are you? Good to meet you too.
They saved his life and his right arm, but his left arm was too badly injured. It had to be cut off at the elbow. In the months that followed, he recovered and searched the world for an artificial arm that would do some of the things his real one used to do and enable him to carry on filming in Africa's trouble spots. But he's never forgotten he owes his life to the flying doctors of AMREF. and neither have his bosses at Reuters, the international news agency he works for.
Thank you for everything. Thank you very much.
They're going to sponsor AMREF, and we were there to hand over a cheque for £25,000 to the nurse and the pilot who'd rescued us. Mo did it in a way that only he can. AMREF has grown and does far more than aeroplane rescues now, fighting disease, bringing clean water and basic health care to remote communities who wouldn't otherwise see a doctor. But the ambulances of the air are still the core of AMREF. While we were there, a man was flown in with serious head injuries after an accident in the bush. The cheque will help to keep the flying doctor service running and also help to repay a debt. But Mo and I are only two amongst tens of thousands of people who've been saved by AMREF, and that's something that no amount of money can ever repay. Michael Burke for Newsround at Naivasha in Kenya.
About 800 people have been rescued from a town under siege in what was Yugoslavia. Some of those taken from Srebrenica by the United Nations were injured yesterday during fierce shelling. At least 56 people, including many children, were killed in the attack. Sport now, and for the first time ever, the World Gymnastics Championships are taking place in Britain. Athletes from a record 55 countries are going for gold at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham. For Newsround, Nick Gardner reports.
Yesterday evening, gymnasts and fans could relax and watch a dazzling display of lasers, music and dance as the championships were officially opened.
I would like to declare this 28th Games of the World Gymnastics Championships in Birmingham officially open.
All the competing countries were represented at the spectacular show, including the British team, who received a tremendous welcome.
Great Britain!
After last night's celebrations, today the hard work begins. By the end of the week, 12 gold medals will have been awarded, and each gymnast who wins one will have earned the title World Champion.
Britain's best chance in Birmingham is 25-year-old Neil Thomas. He's taking part in his third championships and knows the competition's going to be tough.
I'm not really sure how things are going. I think with a good competition, I should be able to see myself and make the finals in the top 24. And I'm obviously looking for a floor final and maybe even a vault.
The record number of competitors in the championships is a result of the breakup of the Soviet Union, which means more countries can now attend. And it's thought some of the so far unknown gymnasts they've brought with them could turn out to be the stars of this week's show. This is Nick Gardner for Newsround in Birmingham.
And finally, exactly a year after they opened, EuroDisney have admitted they made mistakes, but say they're doing their best to put them right. So far, almost 11 million people have visited the theme park just outside Paris in France. For Newsround, Joanna Robinson reports.
EuroDisney has come in for a lot of criticism. People say it's too expensive, the queues for rides are too long, and the weather's miserable. But all that was forgotten as Mickey Mouse and his friends celebrated their first year in France. The highlight was Sleeping Beauty's castle, magically transformed into an enormous birthday cake. EuroDisney admit they got some things wrong, but say they're listening to complaints. Entrance fees are being reduced at certain times of the year. There'll be cheaper food available and more attractions to try and cut down queues.
There are lots of plans to develop EuroDisney. By the time it's eventually finished, sometime in the next century, it'll be 8 times as big as it is today. But not everyone's happy about that.
Monny-Langres is one of several villages on the edge of the theme park. It's had to expand to cope with the number of people needing somewhere to live. 12,000 people already work for EuroDisney. Monny's deputy mayor, Monsieur Ribourg, says local people have got used to EuroDisney now, but are still concerned.
People
are worried that EuroDisney will take over and become the only form of employment here. We'll end up depending on it for jobs, and that could be dangerous.
The firework displays in the park are spectacular, but people living nearby have complained about the noise, and so they're now just used on special occasions. This is Joanna Robinson for Newsround at EuroDisney.
And that's all from Newsround for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.
Returning on Friday, the gang who are completely round the twist.
Some people reckon you've lived before. Linda might have been someone else before she was born. She could have even been good looking the first time.
Yeah, what would I have been?
A pig or a hippopotamus?
Yeah, but can Linda really make hypnosis work?
Now.
It's all a bit weird. Round the Twist returns this Friday at 5:05 on Children's BBC. Now, if you remember Round the Twist, you'll know that it is completely balmy and a programme that you mustn't miss. Now, do you want to know what really happens down the disco? The Lowdown tells all.
A lot of my mates, they come up to you and say, oh, I've been jetted out 3 times and all stuff like that. So really?
Yeah, there is someone in Hollywood that I do fancy. I'm going off him a bit now, but I still like him. I've got a list that's about as long as my arm.